Hello, students. Good morning, all of you. Today, I, Rabindra Mohan Mishra from Sri Jagdamba Sanskrit College, Batho, am taking the class of Shastri first. We have seen many questions and answers earlier. Today, we see Wordsworth, a poet of nature. William Wordsworth was a great romantic poet. He was well acquainted with the gift of nature. He has done many remarkable jobs in the field of nature. Wordsworth, by publishing the Lyrical Ballad in collaboration with Coleridge in 1798, inaugurated the Romantic movement in English poetry. He therefore occupies a very important rank in the history of English poetry. With him began a new era in English poetry. Wordsworth rebelled against the poetic principles of the 18th century. By the consequences of it, we say there are many dictions in his poetry. In it, we see his love for nature. He held that the common life of the poor, simple people can serve as fit material for poetry, and that the diction to be implied in poetry should be drawn from the everyday speech of human being. This was the formula with which he led the revolt against the artificial and bombastic diction of the 18th century neoclassical poetry. As a poet of nature, Wordsworth stands supreme. There is no any parallel, there is no any equality between among others. He is the worshipper of nature. He is, we may say that, nature's priest. He gave to nature an independent status in poetry. Of all the poets who have written of nature, therefore is none that compares with him in the truthfulness of his representation. He had a full fledged philosophy of nature. There are many examples of such. Tinted away is the complete expression of his nature. Great 3 points in his grade of nature may be noted. First one is, he believed that the company of nature gives joy to the human heart and exercises a healing effect on troubled minds. Second one is, he conceived of nature as a living personality. He believed that there is a divine spirit pervading all objects of nature. In other words, he approached nature as a mystical pantheist. Third one, or we may say last one, of such qualities. Above all, he emphasized the moral influence of nature. Nature, he believed, is a teacher whose wisdom we can learn if we want, and without which human life is in vain and incomplete. He believed in the education of man by nature. Besides, didn't turn away his other poems like The Highland Girl and 3 Years She Grew also expresses this view of nature. Idealized childhood. According to him, the child sees in nature a heavenly glory which a man cannot see. This is so because the child is near heaven and has distinct memories of his heavenly life. The child is thus a mighty philosopher, a seer blessed. All these views find a superb expression in the ode on the imitation of immortality. Wordsworth's greatness as a nature poet has universally been recognized. There are many critics who remark about him. He has called him one of the giants of English poetry. Some others have called him a mountain, the most massive in that lofty range which is called the Romantic Revival. In it, we may want to express the saying of Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold, the greatest critic of the Victorian age, called Wordsworth one of the chief glories of English poetry. At the same time, it has been pointed out by almost every critic that Wordsworth's poetic work is singularly uneven and that there is a lot of his work that is dull, prosaic, and pathetic. It was for this reason that Arnold felt it necessary to edit Wordsworth and to remove the uncommon clay that disgusts and obscure the durable gems of Wordsworth poetry. The reappearance of these many nature forms had been one of the signs of the Romantic revival, and most of the poets of the time practiced it more or less. His poetry of nature contains almost his best work outside the two approachable poems, Tinted Away and Ode on Imitations of Immortality, with perhaps a very few others. In turned away, the light in the eyes of his sister seems to reflect for Wordsworth the very state of mind that in which 5 years before he had rejoiced over the beauties of this natural scene. As he looks at the scene once more, he is made doubly aware of a sense of loss. The past will not return, and a sense of compensation greater than the loss, the new maturity and insight which the advancing years have brought. By this device, the interior drama of the time, a parable essentially of experience and emotions, is made to transpire. Wordsworth makes us feel that we are roaming about in the open fields with the wind and rain touching our foreheads, and this is indeed a pleasant experience which is very remarkable for his love of nature. Wordsworth's views of nature may have little appeal to the 20th century. In short, we conclude that in his poetry there is perfect contentment. There may be just the hint of a passing regret here and there, but on the whole, it is good cheer that greets us. Even the sad narratives of Wordsworth for nature do not depress us and serve to teach us the lesson of courage and endurance. Thanks. Good night. Have a nice day. We will meet tomorrow in the next class. Thanks.